Everybody who watched EuroBasket 2025 walked away asking the same question. Who the heck is this kid lighting up the court like a seasoned pro? That's when the cameras zoomed in on 18-year-old Mika Murinan, the 6'11 phenom from Finland, who just might be basketball's next global superstar. With a build like a young Kevin Durant and the confidence of someone who's been here before, Mika has the basketball world buzzing. The moment he took the floor, you could feel it, that electric mix of raw talent, fearlessness, and destiny. He wasn't just playing. He was announcing his arrival. Mika Murinan's story doesn't begin on an NBA court or a high school gym in the US. It begins in Finland, where basketball runs deep in his blood. His father, Murin, played professionally in Europe for over a decade and represented the Finnish national team more than 150 times. His mother, Jenny, was a star in college for the Tar Heels and played nearly 70 games for the national team herself. So, from birth, Mika was destined to pick up the ball. By the time most kids were learning how to dribble, Mika was already outplaying teenagers several years older. It didn't take long before everyone realized he wasn't just good, he was special. At a young age, he left his home to join the elite youth system in Madrid, a move most kids could only dream of. But instead of being overwhelmed, Mika dominated. His performances during the 2023 Under-16 European Championships were a wake-up call to the entire continent. In one unforgettable game against Greece, he erupted for 32 points, 9 rebounds, 5 blocks, and 2 steals, putting the entire basketball world on notice. Scouts started whispering his name, and fans began comparing him to Finland's greatest basketball export, Lauri Markkanen. And when those comparisons began, Mika didn't shy away. He embraced the pressure. But what separates Mika from the rest isn't just his talent. It's his hunger to challenge himself, to keep stepping into the unknown. Most European prodigies stay home, turn pro early, and rise through the EuroLeague ranks before making the NBA leap. Mika decided to do the opposite. At just 15 years old, he packed his bags for the United States to play high school basketball, knowing he'd have to start from zero. He wasn't a celebrity there. He was just another tall kid trying to make a name for himself. But the moment he hit the AU circuit, everything changed. At the 2024 Nike Peach Jam, the biggest proving ground for young basketball stars, Mika Murinan went from being an unranked mystery to a 5-star sensation. Carrying Brad Biel's lead all the way to the finals, he averaged 18 points per game and turned heads with his efficiency and athleticism. In the championship game, he went off for 21 points, 3 rebounds, and 2 blocks, shooting 8 for 11 from the field. Overnight, major outlets like ESPN, Rivals, and 247 Sports reworked their rankings. The kid from Finland was no longer a secret, but just when everyone thought Mika would take the typical path, dominate high school, choose a top college program, and declare for the draft, he took another risk. The kind of risk that defines greatness. He decided to play against grown men. At just 17, Mika was called up to the senior Finnish national team to compete in the 2024 Olympic qualifiers. There he was, a teenager standing toe-to-toe with NBA veterans like Eric Gordon, Buddy Hield, and even former #1 pick DeAndre Ayton. In his very first game, he crossed up Ayton and scored over him like it was nothing. He wasn't just surviving, he was shining. And then came EuroBasket 2025, the tournament that turned Mika Murinan from a promising name into a global phenomenon. This wasn't your average competition. The world's best were here. Giannis with Greece, Jokic with Serbia, Luka with Slovenia. Every game was a war, every possession a statement. Finland entered as underdogs, expected to make a little noise but nothing serious. Then Mika changed everything. Against Sweden, he played just 8 minutes, but every minute mattered. His energy off the bench swung the momentum. In Finland's next game, against Great Britain, he exploded. The highlight everyone remembers? A thunderous dunk so vicious that it went viral worldwide. Suddenly, Slim Jesus, his nickname from teammates, was trending everywhere. In the following games, Mika became a key part of Finland's rotation, holding his own against NBA-level talent. Then came the shocker, the game that cemented his legend. Finland versus Serbia, the reigning bronze medalists. Nikola Jokic, the best player in the world, ready to steamroll anyone in his path. But Finland, led by Lauri Markkanen and fueled by the fearless Mika Murinan, pulled off one of the biggest upsets in EuroBasket history. Finland defeated Serbia in a thriller. Jokic dropped 33, but Mika, just 18 years old, had 9 points on 60% shooting and even hit a massive three-pointer down the stretch. He went chest-to-chest with the four-time NBA MVP and didn't flinch. The world took notice. By the end of the tournament, Mika had helped Finland reach the semifinals, their best finish in history. They fell short against Germany, the reigning world champions, but Mika played his best game yet, 12 points, 2 rebounds, and a block in under 20 minutes. At Partizan, he'll be coached by Željko Obradović, the Phil Jackson of Europe, a man who's won 9 EuroLeague titles and inspired coaches like Greg Popovich. Mika will share the floor with NBA-caliber talents like Jabari Parker, Isaac Bonga, and Carson Edwards. Every minute he earns will be a battle. Every possession will demand perfection. But that's exactly why he chose it. Because Mika Murinan isn't chasing fame, he's chasing greatness. He's already made over $1 million with this deal, but money was never the point. What he wants is experience, to learn the European game, to understand its rhythm and physicality, and to mold himself into a player with no weaknesses. By the time he's eligible for the 2027 NBA draft, Mika will have something no other prospect in history can claim. He'll have mastered both the American and European systems. He'll have played against pros in the EuroLeague, represented his nation against NBA stars, and dominated US prep competition. That's a combination of experiences that no one, not even Luka Doncic, had at his age. So yes, he's taking a risk. But greatness always requires risk. From the moment he first picked up a basketball, Mika Murinan has been doing the one thing most players are too scared to do: step into the unknown. And every time he has, he's come out better. The basketball world might not know it yet, but the next great European superstar isn't coming. He's already here. Slim Jesus is real. The question isn't if he'll make it to the NBA, it's how far he'll go once he gets there. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Is Mika Murinan the future face of international basketball?